Hello, welcome to Crafts Designs. Today I'm working the flower for May. The pattern will be available on Ravelry and Lovecrafts. Please check below for the links. My patterns are worked using UK terminology, and for this flower you will need oddments of Aran yarn and a 5.5mm hook. So I'm going to start with the centres. You can see there's a centre, and you can change the colour or change the colour on the different rows if you want to have different colours. But then there are 3 rows of petals after I've worked the centre. I'm starting that with a magic ring. I pull up a loop, and then it's 3 chain. So that was my first one. 1, 2, and then 11 trebles are going to be worked into this ring over the top of the end into the circle. Right. 10, 11. Double check. 8, 10, 11. Right. I'm going to cut the end of the yarn and pull the loop straight through. Pull the end that we left at the beginning to tighten up the circle, and we're going to finish with a sewn finish at the end. So what we're doing here is we're going to follow this top chain. This is the top chain stitch where we would normally make a slip stitch into, but this time I'm going to work underneath the 2 threads of the first treble and take the end back into the same stitch that this one came out from. So we've gone out of here, round, and I'm going back into that same stitch and catching underneath the first thread behind it. And when you pull that up gently, you then have your 12 stitches without noticing where the join is. And I take that to the back and weave through the stitch till I get to the center, and take this end around the center underneath the stitches to finish it off. I also take this starting end and take that through a few extra stitches as well, so that we get that nice and tight in the middle. There we have the center. Now I use the second colour and start with a slip knot onto the hook. I'm going to slip stitch into any of the loops that we have around here now. So I'm going to pick up both threads and work a slip stitch. Pull that loop up tight. And for this round I'm going to work 6 chain. Miss one stitch, so that's the next stitch. I'm going to miss that one and slip stitch into the next one. 6 chain again. Miss one stitch into the next one. Six chain. Into the next one, and do that all the way around. So that's the last one. So we end up with 6 chain. And slip stitch into the first chain that we did at the beginning. Now we're going to move straight on to round 2. So we work 1 chain, slip stitch behind that last petal into the missed stitch. So I'm going behind there into the missed stitch with a slip stitch, and that this row is 7 chain. Seven chain, push that loop forward, and we're working into that missed stitch with a slip stitch. Push the stitch forward, slip stitch in the missed one. We work that all the way around. One, then 6 chain, oh sorry, 7 chain, was it? 7 chain. Got carried away there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I want to slip stitch into the first chain on the first loop of that round. And we'll work 1 chain again, and then we're going to work the last round. We're going to work it into the slip stitch of the first round, but we're going behind. So I'll do the slip stitch first, which is going into that one there. Bit more difficult, this one. It's not as easy as the others because I've pulled it very tight. There we go. So now this round we're going to work 7 chain again. So push the stitches forward, that one, and we're going to work in that slip stitch there from the first round of petals. Just slip stitch again, so it's 7 chain, slip stitch, Don't forget to work underneath the petals at the back to push the petals from the rose before forward. Can't find that one. There it is. And when you get all the way around, it's fine. The first stitch at the beginning, slip stitch, to finish off. Cut the end, pull the loop through, and there we have the flower for May. Hope you enjoy making this one. I've enjoyed it. It's nice and easy, super for beginners. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to get updates for the rest of the patterns and videos. Bye for now.